Others use sulfur, saltpeter, and lead. But I use ginseng and rare herbs. My peers mock me as a clumsy fraud. But what they don't know is that I'm doing this to save Zhang. Traditional recipes usually contain toxins. As a time traveler, I know that stuff is a death sentence. So I improvised a bit to make him some herbal health pills. However, just as I was glad they weren't lethal, I overlooked a major problem. It was my first time refining, and I had no idea how to control the fire. Incomplete combustion creates charcoal, and with a bit of sulfur, it becomes gunpowder. By the time I realized it, it was already too late. The blast surely attracted a crowd. If someone helps me cover it up, I might be able to bluff my way out. But my rivals would rather see me fall. Seeing my mishap, the other alchemists wanted me dead. Luli stood at the door, watching me. Waiguzi was always clumsy. He can't refine anything. He must be a total fake. The eunuch took one look and rushed to report to Zhang. Luli thought I was finished. But his words gave me an idea to break the deadlock. History says gunpowder was discovered by accident during alchemy. He was vague about why the furnace exploded. So there's only one possibility. I'm the one who discovered a gunpowder. I walked toward Luli with a smirk. Sensing trouble, he tried to run. But I landed a punch on his chin. How dare you ruin my elixir? I'll never forgive you. Then I turned to the other onlookers. And you too. Since my elixir is ruined, none of you will have a good day. Everyone was stunned by my sudden outburst. Just then, the eunuch returned with guards, looking very aggressive. By the emperor's order, tie them all up and take them. The guards lunged forward like wolves and tied me up tightly. I kept struggling, pointing at Luli on the floor. Why didn't you tie them up? They destroyed my divine elixir. The eunuch didn't care. He waved his hand impatiently. Tie them all up then. Amidst the terrified curses of the others, we were tied in a line and led away. I walked at the front, head held high, as if going to a feast rather than a trial. I was taken to a side hall. As soon as I entered, the pressure made my knees weak, and I knelt down. A middle-aged man stood there. Even in simple clothes, I knew instantly. He was the great emperor who unified China. Zhang didn't look at us, but stared at a closed room. A moment later, an old physician walked out. His name was Huatsiu. He bowed to Zhang. Your Majesty, the boil on Prince Fuse's back is critical. It could rupture any moment. Once it does, there is no cure. Zhang's body swayed slightly. He waved the man away. I knelt on the ground, my mind racing. A boil is just an infection, right? This is my golden chance. Zhang's cold gaze fell on me. Who is Waiguzi? I am Waiguzi, Your Majesty. 10 days in the palace, not one elixir made, and you blew up the lab. I heard you're just a talentless hack. Luli grabbed this chance to save himself. Your Majesty is wise. He truly has no skill at all. Divine elixirs are miracles. How could a mortal like him make one? The others chimed in, trying desperately to distance themselves. I realized instantly, these so-called masters were just vacationing on the emperor's coin. Me saying I could refine elixirs, cut off their easy money. Of course they'd want me dead. Zhang looked at me. I asked, Your Majesty, these men found nothing in decades, yet you never blamed them. Why blame me after only 10 days? Zhang was taken aback. I felt emboldened and kept talking. I worked for 10 days, failing and trying again. Today, I almost succeeded. But Luli and the others kept spying, and their insults broke my focus. That caused a mistake in the last step, making the energy explode. That's why the room was destroyed. If you don't believe me, send someone to check. That wasn't normal fire. It was spiritual energy they ruined. I cried out in grief, beating my chest. Such a rare celestial chance. We might have to wait another 10 years. The alchemists behind me almost choked with rage. Zhang signaled a eunuch, who hurried out immediately. 15 minutes later, he returned with a serious official. It was Justice Chao Yuan. Chao Yuan bowed and said, The furnace is shattered into pieces. This wasn't done by human hands. It burst from the inside out. As for what caused it, I cannot say. Hearing this, Luli turned pale. He screamed, Impossible. You say you had a vision? Where is this master of yours? Months ago, a sage guided me in a dream. He told me to come to Xianyang, to help the emperor unify the world. I stood tall, telling a lie that even I found ridiculous. Zhang's eyes were like cold knives. How can you prove it? I realized. Words alone wouldn't trick this emperor. He didn't want explanations. He wanted value. Before he lost patience, I looked up abruptly and threw my final card. Your Majesty, that boil is incurable. If I can heal Prince Fusu, will that prove my skill? Ing Zhang's pupils shrank, and his entire aura shifted. He walked up to me and asked slowly, "Are you certain? A king does not joke." "Good." A spark of hope lit up his eyes. "If you heal Fusu, I will name you Grand Preceptor. But if you dare lie to me..." He paused, his voice cold as ice. "You will be executed." I shuddered, but still pointed at Luli. "And if I heal him? What about those who framed me?" Ing Zhang said coldly. "False accusers suffer the same fate. He will be punished in your place." Luli's legs gave out, collapsed on the ground. I gave him a friendly smile, then bowed to Ing Zhang and said, "Let me treat the prince." Ing Zhang nodded. I opened the door and walked in. Totally ignored the sobbing Lady Yu inside. Headed straight to the bed with the maids. A boy around 10 was lying on the bed. His little face looked pale with pain. When he saw me, he still managed a weak smile. "What's your name?" I crouched down. "Ing Fusu." I checked his wound carefully. I got the idea. I stepped out of the room, bowed to the anxious Ing Zhang outside. "Don't worry, Your Majesty. I can cure the prince. But I need to prepare a few things. Please assign a few men to help me." Ing Zhang pointed at the eunuch Jiming next to him. "You, pick 2 more and follow Huiguzi closely." This was supposed to be helping, but actually just watching me. I didn't care at all. Led Jiming, Xiaoyi, and Wu Jiao, my 3 little shadows, strutted out of the palace. Once out, I got straight to the point. Jiming was startled. "Sir Hui, where are you going? Where are you heading?" "For some baijiu." I didn't even turn around. At the palace gate, I bumped into a rough-looking man. General Li Xian. He was a good friend of my body's original owner. Also the one who recommended me to the palace. "Brother Hui." Li Xian grabbed me. "I heard something happened. Are you okay? Are you alright?" I patted his shoulder. "I'm fine. No worries, brotherly." After I left, Jiming hurried over. Explained everything to Li Xian. When Li Xian heard it, his expression changed dramatically. He didn't care about me anymore. Turned and rushed back to the palace. I had no time to worry about that. My mind was all about making high-proof alcohol. I went straight to the biggest tavern in Xianyang. Shouted at the boss. "Bring out your strongest liquor. The kind that can knock out even the toughest guy." The boss bragged about a few jars being the freshest. He added, "Master Lu, Master Ho and those alchemists all love this." When I heard alchemists, I instantly got mad. Slammed the counter with my palm. Loud and clear. "Remember this. I, Huiguzi, am enemies with all alchemists. If anyone comes to buy wine again, just tell them what I said." I told Jiming to pay. Carried 3 jars and left. The boss was scared out of his mind. He chased us down, took back the wine, and swapped it for the real aged stuff he had hidden. Afraid of getting in trouble with palace people. Back to the medicine room. I set up the pot right away and started boiling the wine. Using the different boiling points of wine and water, I distilled and purified it again and again. Rich aroma quickly filled the whole yard. Jiming stared at the clear liquid gathering in the pot, and asked out of curiosity, "Sir Hui, what is this?" "What's this?" I smiled mysteriously. "This is the essence of wine. It's called alcohol." Meanwhile, in Ing Zhang's study, Li Xian was on his knees begging hard, while the young General Wang Li sneered and mocked Li Xian for trusting the wrong person. Just as Ing Zhang was getting annoyed, and was about to order my execution, Jiming burst in, reeking of liquor. "I told you to keep an eye on him. And you went drinking instead?" Ing Zhang was furious. Jiming panicked and knelt. "I wouldn't dare. It's Huiguzi boiling liquor. He said he got something out of the wine. He got alcohol from it. Means there's a spirit in the wine? Outrageous." Ing Zhang flew into a rage and threw a bamboo slip at me. "Messing with me, huh? Guards. Deal with that useless charlatan. Right here, right now." Just at that critical moment, Li Xian suddenly bowed hard and shouted, "If he fails, I'll take the blame too. I'll share his punishment." Wang Li sneered nearby. Li Xian couldn't stand it and punched him right away. The 2 generals started fighting in front of the king. "Get out. Both of you, out." Ing Zhang roared. I somehow survived again. That night, I sharpened my blade, used my homemade alcohol and boiled linen, got everything ready for disinfection and bandaging. I even made Jiming and the 2 other little eunuchs wipe down with alcohol from head to toe. Everything was set. Time to treat the patient, I said to the trembling 3. The night was dark and windy. I carried my medicine box, with the sharp blade gleaming in my hand. Behind me were 3 eunuchs looking like they were up to no good. We went to Fusu's room again. I sent everyone out. including Fusu's birth mother and Lady Yu. I lit my homemade alcohol lamps. Several lamps surrounded the bed, lighting up the room with bright, shadowless light. Don't worry, I'm cleaning Fusu's back with alcohol pads. I chat with him in the most relaxed tone, trying to distract him. Your mother loves you very much. You should respect her well in the future. Okay, Fusu starts to relax. Right when he lets his guard down, a cold flash appears in my eyes. My hand moves swiftly with the blade. Holding the disinfected scraper, I gently cut open the skin of the sore. Fusu is caught off guard. He lets out a scream of unbearable pain. Yumerin, who's been eavesdropping outside, hears the scream. Her eyes roll back, and she faints, stiff as a board. The air in the room feels frozen. Except for that woman called Yumerin, who's collapsed to the ground. There are only 3 young eunuchs left. The sound of their chattering teeth. I don't bother with them. I shout sternly. What are you panicking for? Get over here and hold him down. Xiaoyi and Wu Jiao. The 2 kids tremble like leaves in the wind, but still nervously rush over, firmly pinning down the anguished Fusu on the bed. With the scraper, I swiftly cut away the rotten flesh. The pus from the wound drains out smoothly. I clean it quickly, while mumbling without looking up. Sorry, young master. I forgot the anesthetic. You'll have to tough it out. Fusu doesn't understand what I'm saying. He only knows he's in pain. The pain feels unbearable. I sigh, but keep moving my hands, muttering, stop crying. Such a kid. It's just a surface wound. All cleaned up now. It'll heal up in about 3 to 5 days after disinfecting. As soon as I finish speaking, I've already cleared out the pus. I apply purified alcohol onto the wound evenly. Fusu's scream from the disinfection is even sharper than before. It's enough to shake the roof. And just then, Yumerin, just awakened by someone pinching her philtrum, rushes to the door like crazy, banging on it loudly. I don't even lift my eyelids. Coolly instructing Ji Ming guarding the door. Seal the door shut. Don't let anyone else in, or they'll harm the young master. And all of you will be exiled according to the rules. Ji Ming's face turns even worse, like he's just suffered a fire. He keeps the door tightly closed, probably grumbling about me inside countless times. While things are chaotic outside, Lu Lai, the senior, arrives. He was sleeping deeply, woken up just now by Xiaoyi, now finally stumbling over. He looks at the mess at the door, puzzled, and asks a palace maid what's going on. The maid quickly explains how I barged in with a knife, drove out Yumerin, and locked the door to treat Fusu. Lu Lai hears all this, and his eyes light up instantly. Huai Guzi must really want more trouble. Asking for trouble. He rolls his eyes, leans in close to Yumerin, and whispers, Madam, go report to the king quickly. Only the king can save the young master. Yumerin suddenly wakes up. Yeah, she doesn't have the strength to force the door open. She doesn't bother thanking anyone, lifts her dress and dashes straight to Ing Zhang's palace. Meanwhile, in Ing Zhang's palace, the eunuch on duty doesn't dare wake the sleeping king. But Yumerin is too desperate to care, and starts crying and shouting for the king outside the hall. Fusu's about to suffer badly from that Huai Guzi. Suddenly, Ing Zhang bolts upright from bed, throws on some clothes and rushes out. Shocked and furious, he demands, What did you say? Huai Guzi dares to harm Fusu. Yumerin kneels on the ground, crying her heart out, talking about how fierce I am, and how Fusu keeps screaming. Ing Zhang grinds his teeth loudly. Such nerve. Before he finishes, he's already storming toward Fusu's place. Right as Ing Zhang arrives, I have Ji Ming open the door. The eunuch Wu Jiao carries a basin of golden liquid out, and runs right into enraged Ing Zhang. Ing Zhang kicks Wu Jiao in the stomach. Wu Jiao screams and tumbles to the ground. Not a drop is lost from the basin, all splashing onto bystander Lu Lai. Lu Lai gets soaked through, wipes the golden liquid off his face. But he's secretly really happy. It's over this time. Huai Guzi, you're doomed now. Ing Zhang is about to rush in, but I block him like a wall. King, the surgery was a success. I use a word he barely understands, but my tone is calm and unsettling. The young master is fine now. To prevent infection, please don't come too close for now. Just wait patiently for a day or 2. Ing Zhang is stunned. He looks at me, then behind me. I step aside a bit, so he can see Fusu lying motionless on the couch. Look, the sores are gone. He'll be healed in 3 days at most. The young master is doing great. If you don't believe me, check for yourself. Ing Zhang sees clean white cloth wrapped around Fusu's back, with no nasty pus left. He cautiously calls out, Fusu, how do you feel? No response. Ing Zhang's look turns suspicious. He glares at me like a knife. I awkwardly scratch my head and explain, young master, he's just really tired. It's been days of suffering. Now he's finally sleeping peacefully. He is sleeping. Or, is he not breathing anymore? Lu Lai, covered in golden liquid, teases sarcastically. Why Guzi, are you lying to the king? I raise my hand and scold loudly, making him step back over and over. I point at his nose fiercely. How dare you curse the young master? What's your game? That moment makes Xingjing think Lu Lai is really curseful and annoying. So his look toward him gets unfriendly too. Xingjing turns to Ji Ming, who's trembling. Tell me, how is Fusu really doing? Ji Ming is scared and almost collapses. Stuttering, he says, Your Majesty. The young master is indeed asleep. Maybe he's unconscious. He even leaves himself an excuse. Xingjing nods and looks back at me. 3 days, will he really recover? I answer firmly. Walking and sitting, just as healthy as before. Xingjing stares at me. Then I'll give you 3 more days. With that, he turns to leave. Yumarin tries to rush forward again, crying out for Fusu. I coldly tell Ji Ming to send the family out. Don't disturb the patient. So Yumarin is escorted out again. Outside in the yard, Lu Lai watches the crying Yumarin, quietly reminding her, Madam, remember. If anything happens to the young master, don't ever let Huiguzi off. Yumarin bites her lip. He nodded hard. Meanwhile, Li Xian's mansion was brightly lit. My guarantor Li Xian was now miserably kneeling on a washboard. His wife, Lady Li, stood with her hands on her hips and yelled at him for most of the night. Li Xian, you threw away your whole family for some street magician. You don't even care about us anymore. If he can't cure you, you're done for too. You'll lose your life. That's a deadly illness, you know. Li Xian stuck his neck out, with a stubborn look on his face. Today, that Wang Li guy mocked me right in front of the king. He called me useless. Honey, I'm still a general at least. Who does Wang Li think he is? Daring to insult me like that? So you let a few words get to you, and put our whole family's safety on the line. Lady Li was so angry she stomped her foot. The king won't punish me that badly. Li Xian's voice got softer. You're always right, just always right. Lady Li was totally furious. She shouted, Bring me my cane. The servants and maids outside shivered in fear. Who would have thought that tough General Li on the battlefield would be this scared of his wife at home? The cane was brought over. Lady Li raised it high, but just couldn't bring herself to hit him. She threw the cane on the ground hard and started crying. How could you be so clueless? Why do you trust that Huiguzi so much? Everyone says he's got no real talent, yet you alone believe in him. Li Xian gave a bitter look and said, Honey, you just don't know. Brother Hui really can do it. Just then, a servant came running in, frantic. Madam, madam, news from the palace. Lady Li tensed up. What is it? The servant was out of breath. They said Huiguzi tortured the prince till he passed out. It's an emergency. If the prince dies, Huiguzi is done for. After Lady Li heard this, she felt faint, almost passing out. She steadied herself, pointed at the steward, Li Jia, and said, Li Jia, you go. Go, now. Go do what? Lady Li took a deep breath and squeezed out a few words through her teeth. Go get your general's affairs in order. Li Jia put on a bitter face and said, Madam, but it's the middle of the night. If you won't go, I'll go myself, Lady Li said, and actually rushed out the gate with her people. The room fell silent instantly. Li Xian cleared his throat and said to Li Jia, Why are you just standing there? Help me up. My legs are numb from kneeling. Li Xian limped to the door. He sighed. Bought it, so be it. We'll need it sooner or later. The servants behind him tried hard not to laugh. Of course, Lady Li wasn't actually preparing for the funeral. She went straight to Chunyu's mansion. Chunyu is the sponsor, Li Xian's sister. But these two can't stand each other. They're basically enemies now. But to save Li Xian's life, Lady Li had no choice but to ask the old stubborn man for help. He waited in the front hall all night until dawn. Didn't even get a sip of water. When she finally saw Chunyu, the old master was calmly eating breakfast alone. He had no intention of hosting her. Greetings, settle the bill. Lady Li gritted her teeth and bowed. Chunyu ignored her. Greetings, settle the bill. She repeated herself. Still ignored. Settle the bill, Lady Li snapped. Her voice got loud, raised by an octave. Chunyu finally finished his last bite slowly, wiped his mouth, looking deeply troubled, then criticized Li Xian from head to toe. Called him reckless. Said he deserved it. Said he brought trouble on himself. Lady Li barely held back from cursing. When the old man finally got tired, she heard him sigh. Fine, on behalf of Wang Jia, I can't just stand by. I can only save his life. But he must retire and become a wealthy landowner. That's how he'll live out his days. Though he's not happy about it. Saving his life is already lucky enough. Lady Li thanked him and quickly escaped that suffocating place. Chinyu changed into court robes to go to court, muttering that people lack education. Dawn was coming. I let out a big yawn. Stayed up all night. Luckily, Fusu didn't get a fever. Seems he didn't catch anything. He should wake up around dawn. I glanced sideways and saw Lu Lai, the old master, still peeking around the courtyard, like a lonely ghost. He didn't sleep and neither did I. I turned to Ji Ming and suddenly said, "Actually, I'm a kind person. I can't bear to hurt anything." Ji Ming's mouth twitched, thinking I was just being sarcastic. I sighed again. Lu Lai is annoying, but making him suffer over an oath. I honestly feel bad. Might as well give him a chance. Ji Ming's heart skipped a beat. What kind of chance? Are you planning to keep the prince asleep forever? Good for you, good for me, good for everyone. This nutcase would totally do it. Just as Ji Ming was overthinking, Lu Lai outside was about to snap. Why isn't he falling down yet? Why isn't Fusu passing out? What if he really gets cured? That thought scared Lu Lai. He broke out in cold sweat. His eyes were bloodshot. I can't give up now. I'm so close to finding the blessed land. I can't fall. Right now? Suddenly, I shouted out happily from inside. He's awake. He's awake. The prince is awake. Go tell his majesty. Wait, the prince says he's hungry. Go get some food, quick. Right after, Shaoyi and Wu Jiao, the two young eunuchs, rushed out like the wind. One headed to Ying Zhang's chamber, the other to the kitchen. Lu Lai leaned against the wall, shaking like a leaf. Awake, and asking for food? So he's cured. If he lives, I get the punishment. The penalty is brutal. No, I can't fall. Lu Lai gritted his teeth. A wicked idea flashed through his mind. He actually carried a powerful poison. The poison is colorless and tasteless. Just add it to the soup and harm Fusu. If Qin King gets angry, Huaiguzi won't survive. No one would suspect Lu Lai. If Fusu survives, Lu Lai will be punished. Lu Lai made up his mind and snuck back to his room, grabbed the poison, then slipped into the kitchen. While everyone was busy, he poured the powder into the soup Shaoyi was carrying. Then he pretended to look for food, grabbed 2 pieces of meat and left. He hid in a corner, watching closely. After a moment, Shaoyi brought out the soup and hurried it into Fusu's courtyard. Lu Lai didn't dare approach, just pressed his ear against the cold wall. Suddenly, oh my god. No breath, really no breath. Ji Ming screamed in terror from inside. Lu Lai couldn't help but smile. It worked. Then I heard myself shout, "There's poison in the soup." Right after, Shaoyi cried, "It wasn't me. I didn't poison it." I asked who touched the soup. Shaoyi answered nervously, "The cook from the kitchen." Oh, and Lord Lu came in to look for food. Lu Lai chuckled outside. Huaiguzi, you're doomed and still trying to solve cases. Wait till His Majesty arrives. See how you explain yourself. Just as he was thinking, he realized something was wrong. Wu Jiao's been gone a long time. Why hasn't the king come? He turned around and was scared out of his mind. Wu Jiao was standing right behind him. Grinned creepily at him. "Lord Lu, I didn't go get His Majesty. And the prince isn't awake. Why master told me to do this?" Next second, Wu Jiao shoved Lu Lai into the courtyard. Inside, me and Ji Ming stood there calmly. On the ground, a broken jar, and a rabbit foaming at the mouth, already lifeless. I looked at Lu Lai, who's pale as death. Shook my head sadly. Lu bro, that rabbit didn't do anything to you. Why did you hurt it? So cruel. I'm screwed, I've been tricked. That was all Lu Lai could think. His legs gave way, and he collapsed on the ground. Terrified, he threw up with a loud cry. I walked over, looking down from above, and stared at him. My voice was full of compassion. Lu bro, why did you bring this on yourself? If you'd just asked for help, for old time's sake, maybe I'd have showed mercy. But you chose to use poison, trying to harm not just me, but even a child. I shook my head and sighed, hey, though I'm compassionate by nature, today I can only act on justice. It's time to clear out the scum. Ji Ming was stunned as he listened. He thought, how can there be someone so shameless in this world? I ignored him, then turned to Shaoyi and said, Shaoyi, you took Lu Lai's money before. Let me count that as your debt for now. Here's your chance to make up for it. Go tie him up for me. Shaoyi was relieved and grateful. He bowed his head and rushed up. While tying up Lu Lai, he yelled at him fiercely, showing his determination. Soon, I was escorting the tightly tied Lu Lai, and headed straight for the assembly hall with Ji Ming and Wu Jiao. On the way, I reminded Ji Ming, when the king asks later, just say the prince woke up earlier, and Lu Lai panicked and poisoned him. Make sure you don't say it was my plan. Otherwise, I'll look too calculating. Jiming decided to keep quiet. This crazy person? I'll just let her say whatever she wants. Right after we left, Fusu's fingers twitched a little. He slowly opened his eyes and softly said, "Water." But unfortunately, Xiaoying, guarding the door, was too worried, thinking Lu Lai would implicate him, and didn't hear a thing. Inside the assembly hall, the meeting was wrapping up. Ying Zhang was discussing the imperial title with his ministers. A matter of great importance. Everyone was arguing passionately, no one agreeing with anyone else. Just as the session was about to end, that stubborn Chunyu suddenly stood up. "Your Majesty, this old minister has something to report. He immediately wanted to get rid of me, the demon, and demote Li Xian, who recommended me, sending him back to his hometown." Li Xian stood in the line, his face turning green, probably cursing me inside. "But come on, your family." Wang Lin was gloating over my trouble, but his father Wang Ben stood up to object. "Your Majesty, you made a 3-day agreement with Waiguzi. The deadline isn't up yet. He can't be dealt with now. Otherwise, you'll break your promise to the world." For a moment, the court looked bizarre. Those close to Li Xian were crying for me to be punished, and wanted Li Xian removed. Those who disliked Li Xian stood up to defend me, and wanted to keep Li Xian in his post. Wait 3 days, then decide. Chunyu was taking a step back to move forward. He wanted to use the minor charge of a bad recommendation to replace Li Xian's major offense of deceiving the king. Ying Zhang finally understood. He actually likes Li Xian, the hot-headed guy. He couldn't bring himself to punish him. So he sighed and just went with the flow. He followed Chunyu's suggestion. Ordered Li Xian to be dismissed. Severely punish Waiguzi. Chunyu breathed a sigh of relief. Wang Ben thought to himself. Too bad Li Xian handed over his command completely confused. Wang Li swaggered right up to Li Xian, calling him old Li over and over. Li Xian got so mad he almost exploded. At that moment, a thunderous shout came from outside the hall. It instantly silenced everyone inside. "Good news, Fong family. Ru Lai tried to poison Prince Fusu. He was caught on the spot by Huaiguzi." As soon as he heard that, Ying Zhang jumped up, his eyes wide like bronze bells. "Bring him in." I dragged the limp Ru Lai into the hall. Jiming and Wu Jiao followed behind me. Everyone stared like they saw a ghost. Wang Li blurted out first, "Ru brother. You really tried to poison him?" Wang Ben was right there. So angry he almost kicked his foolish son. Li Xian instantly went back to his old self. Grinning at Wang Li, "Dear nephew. Looks like your judgment sucks too. Shouldn't you step down yourself?" Wang Li snapped back, pointed at me and shouted, "Your Majesty. He didn't cure the prince. So, by the deal, both he and Li Xian should be punished." I was loving the shocked stares from everyone. But then I heard that and panicked. I loudly argued, "Who said I didn't cure him? The prince already woke up earlier. Why else would Ru Lai be so desperate to poison him?" Ying Zhang's gaze instantly got sharp. He turned to Jiming. "Fusu woke up?" Everyone's attention was locked on Jiming, the little eunuch. Jiming took a deep breath, then slowly shook his head. He clearly said word by word, "Your Majesty. The prince hasn't woken up yet." Then he explained how I discovered Ru Lai's plot. How we turned the plan around. How we used a rabbit to test the poison. And step by step lured the snake out. He told it all. Right there in front of everyone. I felt like my lungs were about to burst from rage. I glared at Jiming, wishing I could see right through him. Jiming just met my gaze, sneering inside. "Trying to drag me down with you? You think I'm as dumb as Ru Lai?" I gritted my teeth, forcing out a sentence. "Jiming, no share for you in the reward. It's not for you." Jiming just rolled his eyes. "You can keep your reward as long as you don't get wasted." "Who cares?" Wang Ben stepped in. He smiled and tried to smooth things over. "So, is the prince awake or not? Who's lying here? How about we all go check for ourselves? One look and we'll know." I started to get nervous. If Fusu were an adult, he should have woken up by now. But he's just a kid. And weak. What if something went wrong? If Ying Zhang gets mad, I'm dead. If only I could stall for a day or two. That'd be perfect. I was still thinking up an excuse, when Li Xian suddenly roared like thunder. "How dare you? If you don't believe Huaigu, I believe in his miracles down in Chu. I saw it with my own eyes." Wang Li scoffed disdainfully. That sneer set Li Xian off like a powder keg. He pointed right at Wang Li's nose, neck veins bulging. "Wang Li, I'll bet my life. Let's swear right now. Do you dare?" Wang Li isn't the type you can talk out of anything. He snapped right back. "Why wouldn't I dare? If he actually wakes Prince Fusu, you can take my head anytime. But if the prince doesn't wake up, don't try to weasel out, old Li." Li Xian's eyes turned bloodshot. Let's go to the prince's room right now. We'll see who's lying. Once and for all. My scalp tingled with nerves. Li Xian is too thankful for me. He's risking his life to back me up. Isn't he getting us both in trouble? I quickly faked a cough and forced myself to jump in. What if the prince just woke up and then fell back asleep? Kids sleep really deeply, so you can't blame him if he doesn't wake right away. Yingjing stared at me for a few seconds. His look as sharp as a blade, making me break out in a cold sweat. He ignored me and just said one thing, call the attendant. Moments later, that old man Huake showed up again. Yingjing asked directly, how do we tell? Is he sleeping or in a coma? Huake bowed and answered, Your Majesty. If you prick the philtrum with a needle. If he's just sleeping, he'll wake up. If his breath is barely there, then it's hard to say. That's a good plan. Wang Li jumped in immediately. You could just see the schadenfreude in his eyes. Let's go right now. Yingjing was also worried about his son, so he didn't waste time. He headed straight for Fusu's room. All the ministers hurried after him. The crowd couldn't wait for the drama. On the way there, I felt like a monkey on display. Some looked at me with pity, but more just wanted to see me make a fool of myself. Chinyu hung back, walking with Jiming and Huake. Jiming lowered his voice, Dr. Hua. Do you think that kid can pull this off? Huake shook his head and sighed, for that kind of poison to burst. And someone to come out just fine? Impossible. Harder than reaching the sky. Jiming immediately felt confident. He glanced at me up ahead, sneered and sighed, no way you can pull off a miracle. He actually wished Fusu would never wake up. Otherwise, he couldn't explain things to Yingjing. Meanwhile, Lady Li paced nervously at home. All day and night. She barely drank a drop of water, or ate a single grain of rice. The servant Li Jia ran like crazy between the palace and home, like a dog whose legs were about to break. One bad news after another kept coming. Madam, they say Lord Xinyu wants to save the general. But old Wang Ben won't allow it. He insists on waiting for the result. Madam, this is bad. The general and Wang Li have sworn on their lives. It's over, madam. They've already gone to see the prince. This one glimpse decides life and death. Lady Li felt she could barely stand. She turned pale as a sheet. She grabbed Li Jia, her voice shaking, go check again at the palace. At the palace gates. I need to know if the general lives or dies. Just as Li Jia left. Here comes Lady Xinji. She never got along with Lady Li. And today, she just came to watch the mess. Sister Xinji held Lady Li's hand with fake sympathy. I heard about your general and Wang Li making that life oath. I just saw General Wang Li leave the palace. And your brother-in-law Chunyu came out with a dark face. Sister, I'm afraid your general is doomed. Those words were like a dagger. It stabbed right into Lady Li's heart. She watched Lady Li looking totally devastated. She felt so pleased inside. But she pretended to comfort her with fake concern. She really enjoyed herself. Finally, she was ready to leave, satisfied. Just then, two young eunuchs shouted from outside the gate. Where are the people from the Li household? Come help carry your general inside. We're exhausted. Hearing that, Lady Li almost fainted. She nearly passed out. Two servants rushed out. A moment later, they carried in Li Xian, totally unconscious. Lady Li collapsed to the ground, crying out. She burst into tears. She patted her on the back. She pretended to be kind, saying, Sister. He's gone. You have my condolences. Wu Jiao, the eunuch carrying Li Xian, looked confused. The general is just drunk. Why mourn? Lady Li suddenly stopped crying. She looked up fast. He's drunk? Right. She blurted out, didn't he lose a bet and get in trouble? Wu Jiao was about to answer, when another deep voice sounded outside the door. Wang Li, general's servant. Delivering 10,000 coins on the general's orders as an apology. General Wang instructed us to thank Grand General Li Xian for letting bygones be bygones. Wang Li is deeply grateful. As soon as he finished, a group of servants carried in heavy chests and set them in the courtyard with loud thuds. Her smile froze completely. Wang Li came to apologize. Wang's servants also looked humiliated. They made a quick bow and tried to leave. But then the drunk Li Xian mumbled, muttering, short a little at the tea banquet. It's light on weight. The Wang servant's face turned beet red. They had to swallow the embarrassment and opened the chests on the spot. They weighed out each chest one by one, then ran off like they were escaping. Lady Li held her husband, shocked and thrilled. The secret chamber won. Our lord woke up. But what answered her was Li Xian's thunderous snoring. Wu Jiao was right there, excitedly telling the whole story from the palace. How General Li stood up for him. About their brotherhood with Huai Guzi. How I turned things around at the last minute. Wang Li bowed and apologized. The king promoted him. The light in Lady Li's eyes came back. Days of gloom all vanished. She tugged Li Xian's ear, both loving and annoyed. You got lucky this time. Try risking your life like that again, and you'll see how I deal with you. He obviously said that for Shinji to hear. Shinji stood there. He felt like his whole body was full of pins. Today, he's just a joke. Right then, the servant Li Jia finally came running back. He burst in yelling out to the lady of great joy. Great news. The general has won instantly. He's been promoted and rewarded. Lady Li looked at him with a smile. I already knew this news. I told you to wait at the palace gates. Why are you only now returning? Li Jia collapsed onto the floor. Totally out of breath. As soon as I heard, I rushed back. But today, this old servant has run back and forth over 50 times. Honestly, I just can't run anymore. Meanwhile, I followed the troops to Fusu's chamber. I nervously peeked inside. I saw Xiaoyi squatting in the courtyard, playing stones with a kid. I was furious. This reckless guy. I told you to watch over the patient. It's already nighttime. No time to scold him. I rushed straight to the door. Looked inside. The bed was empty. Fusu was gone. My mind went blank. Total panic. I spun around, grabbed Xiaoyi's collar and yelled. Where's the prince? You lost him. Was it Wang Lin who hit him? Wang Lin, who got called out, turned pale. I've never seen such shameless blame-shifting. Xiaoyi was terrified. Couldn't even speak right. Prince. Just then, the kid playing stones suddenly stood up. Kneeled before Ying Zhang. Crisp voice, your son greets father. Ying Zhang was thunderstruck. He rushed over, lifted the child up, stunned and happy. His voice trembled, Fusu. You're healed. That child, Fusu, nodded. Still hurts a bit. But it's not a problem now. I just had some porridge. I'm feeling stronger. I was speechless. Awkwardly let go of Xiaoying. Forced a couple laughs, haha. So that's where the prince was. With clothes on, I didn't recognize him. No wonder. He used to be. Lying shirtless on the bed. Like a fish waiting to be butchered. Now, dressed neat and squatting on the ground. Who could recognize him? No one cared about my embarrassment anymore. Everyone looked at me like I was some monster. Some were impressed, some in awe. Most just afraid. An incurable disease. And he was cured in just a few hours. Now he's lively and jumping around. That's got to be a master healer. Li Xian suddenly burst into crazy laughter. He pointed at Wang Li. His voice boomed like a bell. Where's Wang Li's head? Bring it over. Wang Li's face turned white. Looked to his father Wang Ben for help. Wang Ben's face was instantly red as a liver. Wished he could disappear on the spot. He had no choice but to put on a brave face. Bowed to Li Xian. General Li, my son is young and ignorant. Please forgive him. Li Xian ignored it. Just sneered. So Wang Li's virtue is all talk? Just trying to survive. That's harsher than directly cursing. Wang Li was pushed to his limit. Stiffened his neck. Gritted his teeth, if you want this head, here it is. Wang Ben was so scared he almost fainted. Quickly gave his colleagues a look. All the ministers hurried to plead. Even Ying Zhang joined in. Ying Zhang wanted to warn the Wang family. But didn't mean to really punish them. So he smoothed things over. Wang Li's young and reckless. Li Xian, just let it go. Have him apologize. And pay 10,000 gold. Let's leave it at that. Li Xian knew when to stop. He nodded. Wang Lin tried to stay stubborn. But Wang Ben kicked him hard in the leg. He dropped to his knees with a thud. Kept his head down. And muttered through clenched teeth, General Li. I'm young and ignorant. Please forgive me. Li Xian laughed out loud. He patted my shoulder heartily. Full of pride. Huai Xiong. Did you see that? Ever since my defeat in Chu, that kid hasn't stopped giving me attitude. Today I finally got payback. He looked at Wang Li like a beaten dog. Go home and get the money together, Wang Li. Miss one coin, and I'll tear down your general's mansion. Wang Li was shaking with rage. Almost spat blood. Then Ying Zhang took Fusu and turned to leave. I quickly followed, Your Majesty. The prince's wound isn't fully healed yet. Don't let it get wet. It would be best for me to change his bandages every day. Ying Zhang thought about it. Alright, you take care of Fusu for these few days. He paused. Then pointed at Ji Ming, stay here and follow Huai Xiong's orders. But I shook my head. In front of everyone, I pointed at Ji Ming, no. This guy turns facts upside down. Stirs up trouble. He's just a petty person. I suspect he took benefits from Lu Lai. Or he's cozy with Wang Li. He's always against me. I'm afraid he'll poison the prince. And blame it on me. Wang Li jumped up right away. What does it have to do with me? Ji Ming went even paler. Pointed at me, shaking, You're slandering me. Ying Zhang just gave him a cold look. That look was icy. Jiming, you don't need to stay. Come with me. I've got things to ask you. Jiming instantly went limp. He got dragged away like dead weight. Night fell. A young eunuch took me to Ing Zhang's chambers. That strong man from earlier was still outside the door. And punishing Jiming according to palace rules. Jiming's hair was a mess. Crying miserably. I instantly got it. Ing Zhang was doing this for me to see. I sighed. Shook my head. Huaixiong, why are you sighing? Ing Zhang's voice came from inside. I paused, and replied, Sire, I have a kind heart. I can't stand this. Ing Zhang laughed. So you're pleading for him? I forced a smile, just punish him farther away. Just don't let me hear it. A moment later, Jiming's screams faded away. But I bet he was still being punished. I walked into the palace. Ing Zhang got right to the point. Tell me, what's the immortal realm like? Ing Zhang's eyes sparkled. My mind raced. And I started making things up. Described future tech as magical skills. The immortal realm has a farmer named Yuan, who bred rice, yielding 2,000 tim per acre. Ing Zhang was shocked. 2,000 tim per acre. There are magical vehicles in the immortal realm. No need for oxen or horses. They travel 1,000 miles each day. Ing Zhang was fascinated. If only I had one of those vehicles. There's one more thing in Wonderland. It looks like a ball. Throw it out and it scares everyone. Ing Zhang was totally hooked. I decided to strike while the iron was hot. I picked up some basic alchemy in Wonderland. The elixir I used to treat the prince was one of them. It means the essence of wine. Ing Zhang was thrown off. Why did Jiming tell me it's a wine goblin? I instantly put on a super pitiful face. Your Majesty, someone's jealous of me. They twisted the truth on purpose. Trying to drive a wedge between us. Right then. The burly executioner outside reported to the king. Jiming's whipping is done. Ing Zhang looked furious. Hit him again, outside. Jiming's screams started up again. The talk went on. A pill for health and long life. Can you make it? Ing Zhang finally got to the point. I respectfully said that pill was just too complicated. My skills aren't there yet. But I can make something simpler first. Like something to strengthen the body. Or something for a longer life. Given time. The real pill will come. How long? 3 to 5 years if quick. Or decades if slow. Ing Zhang nodded. He seemed to accept the explanation. Fine, I can wait. So, what reward do you want? My heart started pounding. But I managed to clear my throat. With a smile, I said the palace homes or good land. Those are just things. I dare to request one thing. Let's hear it. I worked up the nerve. A pardon medal. Ing Zhang froze. I quickly explained that I'm too blunt. Easy to offend people. And I'm afraid someone will frame me. That would mess up my work making pills for you. Ing Zhang looked at me, half amused. After a while. He slowly nodded, okay. I'll have one made for you. I nearly jumped with excitement. Thanked him right away. After thanking him, I rubbed my hands. And carefully asked, what about the house and land? Ing Zhang was totally speechless. He just waved me off, helpless. You get it all, it's yours. You can go now. I left, thanking him over and over. I was on cloud 9. Passing by a corner. I saw Jiming still being punished. The executioner looked totally wiped out. Seeing me, Jiming looked saved. Master, does the king have any new orders? Still want me beaten? I waved my hand. With a righteous face. The king didn't tell them to stop, so they kept beating him. Jiming's screams went up another level. I shook my head. Covered my ears and walked away quickly. Mumbling, that's just too cruel. I can't even bear to listen. Dragging my tired body. I didn't get back to Yingzhen Palace till dawn. Just reached the pill room door. A bunch of alchemists rushed over and surrounded me. Kneeling in sync. Master Waiguzi. You must be a sage from heaven. Please, Master, accept us as your disciples. I got startled. Then got angry right away. Now I'm a favorite in front of Ing Zhang. The most important thing now is to stay far away from these alchemists about to be in big trouble. Keep my distance. I yelled at them to leave. Seeing this, everyone backed off. Cursing as they left. Get out, all of you. Get out, you hear me? Who's your master? Not me. There's no way I'll side with folks who don't know their stuff. We're not on the same side. After I let it all out, I walked off with my head high. Only left one harsh line echoing in the morning air. You bunch of losers. Don't even think about dragging me down with you. Seriously, have you heard nothing? I'm always the one using others as backup, not the other way around. No one gets to use me. I cursed them until they went pale. And they didn't even dare to talk back. They slunk off. If I ever know what they're really thinking, it'll be way worse than just some yelling. They actually think if they're sincere enough, and take a few more scoldings, This Master Waiguzi will soften up eventually. And tell them where the spiritual land is. You want to know what a heart of stone is? I'll really show them. Finally, some peace and quiet. Yawning, I push open the pill room door. And freeze on the spot. There are 2 people inside. One is the kid Fusu I just saved. The other is his mother, Lady Yu. They must have been waiting outside for a while. They probably saw that entire chaos just now. The look Fusu gave me was like he was looking at a master even the king respected. Sir, you scold them without a second thought. Like you just don't care. That's a real master right there. Lady Yu, though, looked conflicted, muttering under her breath. So rude. No gentlemanly manners at all. Yet he's the one who saved my son's life. When I came in, both of them got up and bowed. Lady Yu spoke with deep sincerity. Thank you, Mr. Waiguzi, for saving my son's life. Fusu followed her lead. And said it too. I just nodded, not wanting to waste words. Looked straight at Fusu and said, time to change the dressing. Take off your clothes, he did. I undid the bandage. The wound had a scab. Healing well. No need to fuss over it. Just let it heal on its own. So I grabbed a clean bandage. And wrapped it up again. In short, keep it dry for 7 days. Once the scab falls off, you'll be fine. I grabbed a clay pot. Poured myself a bowl of water. To quench my thirst. Turned around to see the 2 of them still standing there. I started getting impatient. Waved my hand. All right, that's it. You can go now. Then I picked up my bowl, ready to drink. But Fusu suddenly dropped to his knees with a thud. Kneeled straight down. Sir, your skills are amazing. Please take me as your disciple. Pfft. I ended up spitting all my water right on his face. Fusu wiped his face. Looked up at me, confused. He actually looked a bit hopeful. Sir, does that mean you agree? I was so annoyed. Almost cussed him out. Agree what? Who agrees by reacting like that? I'm not taking any disciples. Just leave. Are you kidding me? Every prince in the Qin dynasty, no matter who, is like holding a hot potato. I remember clearly. That Huhai kid wiped out all his siblings in the end. Fusu didn't even leave a name in the history books. Most likely was in the first batch to get eliminated. Taking him as a disciple. Am I asking for trouble? While I was figuring out how to shake this off, Lady Yu spoke up. This child has always been weak and sickly. If he can be your student, I'll be more at ease. She spoke sincerely. But there was no room to refuse. If you really won't take him as a disciple, then at least let him follow you and help out. And learn some life lessons. How about that? I was speechless. What could I even teach him? But Lady Yu didn't give me a chance to say no. She bowed again. And forced Fusu to stay. Then just left. Clearly. She's sure you're a real master with magic skills. Looking at this bonus I just got. I sighed. Fine, let him stay. I figured. Getting along with the Qin prince. Can't hurt right now. As for 10 years later. If he gets eliminated. And I'm still stuck here 10 years later. Then I'm really asking for it. Roosters crowed 3 times outside. Sleepiness hit me. I flopped onto the bed. Let out a satisfied sigh. Sir, what do we do next? Fusu leaned in, curious. Sleep. I didn't even bother opening my eyes. Blurted out, half asleep. Fusu froze. But it's still daytime. You're going to sleep now? Isn't that just lazy? Yeah, I'm a lazy guy. I turned over, muttering, leave if you can't handle it. Didn't expect that after a second. Fusu suddenly bowed, looking up to me. Understood, master. He said, all fired up, I've been too caught up in the outside world. Day and night. Commoner or sage. It's all just empty labels. Master, your level is truly beyond the world. I'm amazed and inspired. Thank you, master, for your wisdom. I just about choked. Wanted to call him a fool. But I was too zonked out. Didn't even have the energy to talk. So I just passed out. When I woke again, it was noon. Opened my eyes. And found the once messy pill room. Spotlessly clean. Even the pill furnace was shining. Fusu was looking at me, hoping to please. Master, do you like it? I looked him over. His clothes were neat and tidy. Not looking like he'd worked at all. You cleaned this up? I asked. Fusu scratched his head, embarrassed. I don't know how. So I just gave orders. Little Li and Wu Jiao did all the work. I glanced at the 2 of them in the corner, both sweating buckets. The little eunuch who can't even stand up straight. Nodded in satisfaction. I patted Fusu on the shoulder. Said seriously, not bad. You've got potential, you're made for big things. Don't waste your talent on little things like sweeping. That's too small-minded. As soon as Fusu heard that, his face turned red with excitement. He nodded hard. Wu Jiao looked like he was about to cry. Thinking, what kind of twisted logic is this? Even the emperor has to promote farming. I looked around. And my eyes landed on Wu Jiao. What about lunch? Wu Jiao quickly bowed and said, it's ready. General Li Xian sent someone to deliver a message. There's already a feast set up in the mansion. Please join after your nap, sir. As soon as I heard feast, my eyes lit up right away. Come on, you're with me. Wu Jiao looked so unwilling. Thinking, I was sent by the king to help with the elixir. Now I'm just your personal assistant? But he looked at Fusu over there. Didn't dare say a word. Just followed me respectfully. As soon as we walked outside, another wave of people dropped to their knees. Master Huiguzi, please take us as your disciples. Same group of leeches again. I got furious. Ran into the crowd and scolded them loudly. Cursed them until they were bawling. After that, I was panting hard. Pointed at Fusu behind me. And shouted, look closely. Young Master Fusu is already my disciple. Do you know who he is? People like you with bad character. Think you're worthy to be his peer? You just want to be on his level. Clearly up to no good. Trying to stir up trouble. I'm telling the king right now. Put a big charge on them. The so-called scholars were scared stiff. And scrambled away. I wiped my sweat and mumbled. Guess I'm still too nice. That's why they keep pestering me. After driving them away, Fusu came over excitedly. Sir, did you really take me as your student? I gave him a sideways glance. And shook my head. Just scaring them off. You're still on probation. Keep working hard. If you do well, I'll think about it. Fusu's eyes lit up right away. He nodded like crazy. I laughed to myself. People on probation are the most useful. So I'll let him stay on probation. I took a few steps toward the palace gate. Then suddenly stopped. Looked confused and turned to ask Fusu. What was I just about to do? Sir, you're going to General Li Xian's mansion for the feast. Oh, right. I slapped my forehead. Where's Li Xian's mansion? Fusu looked puzzled. Weren't you recommended to the palace by General Li Xian, sir? You should have been staying at the general's place before. I was stunned. Quickly searching Huiguzi's meager memories. I found the impression of Li Xian's estate was just a blurry shadow. I shook my head and pointed for Wu Jiao to lead. Wu Jiao looked miserable. Sir, I'm a public servant, not your private slave. Leaving the palace to lead. I didn't waste words with him. Just said coolly, the king put me in charge. Defiant on the first day? If the spirit pill is delayed, can you handle the blame? Wu Jiao completely gave up. How does this relate to alchemy? If the pill fails later, he'll blame today's trip. He dejectedly led me out. Wu Jiao found a carriage, and we both got in. Halfway there, shouting was heard. Immortal wine. Immortal wine. Even masters get tipsy. Huiguzi, the alchemist's foe, praised it himself. I was amused. The same old wine boss. He actually listened, promoting me everywhere. I felt good, and told Wu Jiao to tip him. Wu Jiao just said, oh, but didn't move. I frowned. What? Disobeying again? Wu Jiao nearly cried. Sir, I don't have much money. Give what you have. I waved him off. Go. Don't delay my business. Wu Jiao slowly got off, cursing me in his heart. He wants to tip someone, but makes the servant pay. What kind of man is he? Eunuchs barely earn anything. He walked to the boss, pulled out 3 copper coins, and slammed them down. Huiguzi, he barked. A reward from the master. Before the boss could react, he turned and left. The boss saw the 3 coins, and was stunned. Cold sweat broke out. Using my name lately. His wine sold like crazy. He made a fortune. He was once proud, but now felt doomed. A tip of only 3 coins? This was a warning, a threat. And that eunuch looked so angry. The boss stopped shouting and ran to the kitchen. Disaster is coming. To his wife, who was watering wine, he spoke with a long face. What? She scoffed. What about him? He seems angry. We promote him, but he's unhappy. If we don't, he won't be happy either. What do we do? The wife's eyes rolled. She smiled. You're so foolish. The master is hinting. A tip means you're right. But only 3 coins? It means you gave too little. The boss was stunned. Then it clicked. He wants a tribute. Of course. She slapped her leg. You use his name as a brand, making a fortune, but gave him nothing. Who would be happy? Just send him some money, and it'll be fixed. I'm so stupid. The boss slapped his forehead and ran to the books, calculating the right amount. The money was ready, but then he worried. The master lives in the palace. How do I get it in? Meanwhile, I reached the generals. Li Xian and his wife greeted me. Her look was complex. From the start, She thought I was a fraud. But who knew? This supposed fraud actually saved Fusu and got her husband promoted. She tried to believe he's unique. Maybe he's a master. But when I entered, my eyes were like searchlights, looking greedy. Between the maids and decor, I scanned everything. Her faith collapsed again. I was enjoying the view, then turned and met her look of disdain. I gave a dry laugh. Luckily, Li Xian is blunt and didn't notice. He warmly led me to a seat. The food arrived, and I was stunned. Meat and fish were there, but only salt and pepper for spice. The taste was unique. Steamed millet was the staple, with sour plums and apricots. I sighed and picked up my cup. The wine was like sugar water. Then I saw Li Xian eating with such gusto. I had one thought: civilization. Wait for me to save you. Halfway through, Li Xian was tipsy. Holding his cup, he said, "Why? Did you hear? The king is giving you a pardon. You'll get it tomorrow." "That's great." I smiled and asked if he goes to court daily. "Not really." Li Xian sighed. "The king is picking a title. Meetings every day to discuss. Scholars keep arguing. Tai Huang or Qin Di. Citing old texts. It's so boring. Us rough guys can't talk. Just standing there daily." He got angrier and slammed the table. "Especially that Chinyu. I spoke up today. And he yelled, 'What do you know? Don't talk nonsense.'" The scholars all laughed. I was furious. "Don't be so mad," his wife advised. "He's your brother-in-law." Li Xian smirked, showing a hint of wit. "The less I know of rights, the more the king trusts me. He thinks I'm simple." I looked at him, thinking he was quite clever. "Why?" Li Xian set his cup down. "You're an alchemist. You've seen masters. Give me an idea. What should the king be called? So I'm not a statue tomorrow." I smiled and casually said, "Emperor." Li Xian was stunned. "Emperor? Titles have always been single words. Is that allowed?" I put on an act and started bluffing. Qin follows the present, not the past. Ancient people didn't have it. So why can't we have it now? Your Majesty will unify the land. Your achievements will last for ages. This is a groundbreaking event, surpassing even the 3 sovereigns. Greater than the 5 emperors. All combined as the emperor. That's how your Majesty will be remembered forever. Li Xian was stunned when he heard this. Then he slapped his thigh, amazed. "That's brilliant." He quickly grabbed a bamboo slip and wrote down every word I just said, not missing a single one. After eating and drinking our fill, it was already late. I left, a bit drunk. Wu Jiao had been waiting outside impatiently. That day, he squeezed in with the servants at Li's house, eating boiled beans. And ended up getting pretty drunk too. He'd been holding it in forever. He just wanted out. The carriage passed by. 94. The shopkeeper rushed over holding a money pouch, shouting, "Lord Huai. I'm here to bring you a message, sir." Before he could finish, Wu Jiao jumped off the carriage and raised his hand, scolding him. The man backed away in fear. Wu Jiao yelled, voice shrill, "The imperial carriage is coming. Are you trying to get yourself killed?" Then he jumped onto the carriage and urged the driver to go faster. "Hurry up. He's really about to lose it." And I knew nothing about all this, because I had just gotten on the carriage and was already totally passed out from being drunk. The next morning, at the 3rd crow of the rooster, I was woken up by the noise, turned over in bed, and went back to sleep. Meanwhile, Li Xian got up super early, got dressed neatly, holding that bamboo slip with the word emperor on it. He rushed excitedly toward the court. "Emperor, emperor. Heh, Brother Huai really is a genius." He walked along, shaking his head, deeply moved. Already imagining how he'd stand out in court today, debate with the top scholars, and amaze everyone, shocking those scholars who always looked down on him. Li Xian used to hate going to court. As a military man, he always argued with the civil officials, and lost every single time. Every time they started quoting classics and poetry, he felt totally lost. Just standing there, clueless. But today he's full of confidence. He arrived first. A few familiar scholars saw him and immediately gathered around, mocking him sarcastically. "Generally, you're quite early today. Maybe you have something brilliant to say? Last time, your first king speech was truly amazing. Any big surprises for us today?" Everyone burst out laughing around him. But Li Xian was different this time. He didn't get mad. He just stayed calm, looking at them like he pitted a bunch of clowns. Now the scholars were confused. Where did this brute get all his confidence? Just then, Chunyu showed up. He was a top scholar in court, and the teacher of Prince Fusu. When the scholars saw him, they all fell silent. Qinyu walked over to Li Xian. He quietly warned him not to speak today. Just listen. Why? Li Xian stiffened his neck. Qinyu's beard trembled in anger. Why is a warrior like you getting involved? Aren't you ashamed enough already? What's wrong with being a warrior? Li Xian spoke up loudly, since we can't talk. Are we just here to stand around like dummies? As soon as he said it, the other generals all nodded. That really hit home for them. At that moment, Yingzheng arrived. Looking tired, he asked if there was any result on the title. The same old debate about the Grand Emperor and Emperor of Qin started again. Yingzheng waved him off impatiently. Isn't there anything new? Here's my chance. Li Xian stepped forward right away. My lord, I have an idea. Qinyu looked furious. He growled at Li Xian, don't embarrass yourself in the court. Wang Ben's son, Wang Li, chuckled and added more. There's always some rough general like Li. Talking nonsense. Dragging us generals down. Li Xian was furious now. He pointed at Wang Li and shouted, you raised your sword against traitors. But you have no judgment. How do you have the nerve to stand here? Wang Li was so stunned he couldn't reply. Yingzheng waved his hand, signaling everyone to quiet down. Then he looked at Li Xian. What's your idea? Let's hear it. Li Xian cleared his throat and raised his voice. I suggest your honorific title should be 2 characters. As soon as he said that, the whole hall burst out laughing. Figures, this brute is dreaming again. Seeing this, Li Xing started to feel a bit nervous too. But he had to double down and reveal his trump card. Don't laugh just yet. This title was discussed with Master Waiguzi and me. Master Waiguzi has amazing skills. A true genius of our time. No way would he get the title wrong. Right after he said this, the officials laughed even harder. That Waiguzi guy that failed at alchemy. Always acting crude. A street doctor who cured Fuso by luck. What good title could he possibly suggest? Even Yingzheng, sitting on the dragon throne, had a skeptical look in his eyes. He believes in my abilities, but not my literary skills. I'm well aware. Yingzheng has zero hope in Li Xian. But since he's here, you have to let him speak. So I looked at Yingzheng on the throne. He waved impatiently. Li Xian, your title. Li Xian took a step forward, took a deep breath, and shouted it out. The entire hall fell silent at once. Not because the title was so earth-shattering, but because it actually sounded pretty normal. Everybody thought Li Xian would say something wild and crazy, some nonsense out of nowhere. But expectations were so low, it actually surprised them. A little shocked, but still, they had to object. An old scholar stroked his beard, stepping out with a forced smile. General, honorific titles have always been 1 character. Now you want 2 characters? That's just not proper. Li Xian was waiting for that. He grinned widely and burst out laughing. It was just like a kid getting candy. He suddenly pulled out a bamboo slip I wrote for him last night from his sleeve, waving it like some legendary weapon, and fired back at those scholars. Our Qin state is ruled by law. The Book of Songs preserves the past. There were no emperors in ancient times, so why should we have to follow them now? Back then, people even ate raw animals. Why aren't you guys wearing leaves to court? The scholars were all dumbfounded. What is happening? How is this brute Li Xian so smart today? They had no idea. It was all my lines from last night. One scholar wasn't buying it, trying to talk back. But a 2-character title just sounds weird. And emperor, it's just combining 3 sovereigns and 5 emperors together using 1 word from each. There's nothing new about it. Li Xian straightened his neck and spoke even louder. Exactly. Our Qin has unified the whole land. Achievements throughout history. 1 word just isn't enough. As for combining names, that's because our king now has the virtues of the 3 sovereigns, and achievements above the 5 emperors. Virtue matches the 3 sovereigns, merit above the 5 emperors. Those 8 words echoed through the great hall. The entire court went silent. Even Yingzheng suddenly sat up straight. His eyes lit up. He was absolutely delighted by the flattery. Well said, very well said. Yingzheng couldn't help but slam the table in praise. Li Xian let out a big breath and looked proudly around the hall. That look was exactly like how I look at idiots normally. Hilarious effect. Yingzheng was already standing up, inspired and energetic. I truly have achievements never seen before in history. Surpassing the 3 sovereigns, greater than the 5 emperors. These 8 words, I deserve them. He looked at the crowd and declared, from now on, a 2-character title is the new standard. 1-character titles are history. The boss has spoken. Who dares object? Honestly, a lot of people thought it was a good title. But since it was suggested by Li Xian the brute, They just couldn't make themselves praise him. Couldn't swallow their pride to compliment him. Li Xian didn't care at all. He put his hands on his hips and walked up to those scholars who mocked him earlier, chin almost in the air. So, what do you think of my title, gentlemen? The scholars' faces turned bright red. They had no choice but to bow. You're a true scholar and warrior, General. We admire you. Ah. Li Xian laughed so loud it almost shook the rafters. Right then, Ing Zhang's gaze landed on Li Xian. So, you came up with this title with Waiguzi? Li Xian scratched his head. Pretty straightforward. He just wanted to embarrass people publicly. He didn't really care about the credit. He answered honestly, my lord. It was mostly Brother Huai's idea. I was just the messenger. Waiguzi, Ing Zhang repeated my name, nodding with satisfaction. Not only skilled in writing, but also so insightful. A real talent. He then ordered the eunuch Jiming next to him. Go bring Waiguzi here. I'll let him attend court sessions without rank. Jiming really didn't want to go. His wound on his butt had just healed. And it was all because of me. But he dared not refuse. So he hobbled off. A moment later, only Jiming came back, looking upset. Where is Waiguzi? Ing Zhang frowned. Jiming dropped to his knees right away. Complaining, exaggerating every detail. My lord, when I went, Waiguzi was still drunk and asleep. I woke him up. And said you summoned him. He actually said he needed to bathe and change clothes. Can't be disrespectful. I urged him to hurry. But he got annoyed. He almost punched me. If I hadn't dodged fast enough, I'd have lost my front teeth. He made all the officials wait just for him. Who would have guessed? When Ing Zhang heard this, not only did he not get mad, he even laughed. Is he getting more polite now? He knows to bathe and change when seeing me. Not bad at all. He shot Jining a cold look. But you've been here so long, and still don't know basic manners. He raised his hand to scold you. So there was a reason after all. Jiming was stunned right then. His mind buzzing. What's going on? I got hit and it's somehow my fault? He sadly realized. Now I'm Ing Zhang's favorite. No matter what I do, I'm right. Another half-hour passed. Finally, Li Shui wandered in yawning. He strolled slowly into the hall. As soon as Ing Zhang saw me, he instantly excused my bow. He grabbed me and showered me with praise. He said he loves the title Emperor. All I could do was give an awkward smile and salute. So embarrassed. Right at that moment, Wang Li, who'd been silent, suddenly stepped up. He had figured it all out. Li Xian made more big contributions. The Wang family was overshadowed. He needed to turn the tables. Wang Li stepped forward and said loudly, my lord, I have a better suggestion. You could call yourself the first emperor. Your heirs could be second, third emperors. And so on for countless generations. As soon as he said that, everyone nodded in agreement. Wang Ben stroked his beard, looking so pleased. My son's grown up. What a clever move to steal the show. So what if you named the emperor? My son added first and took most of the credit. Most of the glory goes to him. Ing Zhang also looked pleased. He was just about to praise him. But I suddenly rushed right up to Wang Li. Didn't give her any time to react. I slapped left and right. Echoing slaps filled the whole hall. Everyone was stunned. Wang Li was totally dazed. His face was burning in pain. He never dreamed someone would slap him right in front of Ing Zhang in court. I shook my sore hand, then turned and bowed to Ing Zhang. With conviction, my lord, I heard Wang Li cursing you. I lost my temper for a moment. Please forgive me. Wang Li covers his face. Completely stunned. When did I ever curse His Majesty? Ing Zhang also looks at me, confused. I point at Wang Li. My voice is full of anger. I've been working day and night to make you life-extending pills. Finally about to succeed. Your Majesty will live forever, it's right around the corner. And here he is, talking about a second and third emperor. Isn't that basically cursing the king? Don't you want a long life? There can only be one emperor in this world. And that's you. The whole hall goes completely silent. That's a really wild angle. Ing Zhang's face obviously darkens before our eyes. He really agrees with my point. Wang Li got beaten half to death. But the pain on his face was nothing compared to his humiliation. He wants to fight back. But this is court. He's not some rough guy like Li Xian. Definitely not a scoundrel like me. All he can do is glare at me with hate. Fuming inside. Just you wait. But then he looks up and sees Ing Zhang's furious face. His heart sinks to rock bottom. He knows he tried to suck up and totally blew it. Wang Ben beside him has to step up to cover for his son. Your Majesty, 3 generations of the Wang family have been loyal. Wang Li didn't mean it. He's just a soldier. Not good with words. Misspoke. Please dock his salary for a year. Li Xian can't let this chance slip by. He immediately chimes in sarcastically. So General Wang Li. Turns out you're the ignorant brute here. Really losing face for us generals. Wang Li's face turns dark purple with anger. He's shaking from rage. But has to take it. If he doesn't admit it, it means he admits. He cursed the emperor. That'd be suicide. Yingzheng coldly grunts. Approved. Those old Confucians like Qinyu glare at me, fuming. This guy's nothing but trouble. Long life and immortality. It's all just wishful thinking. If we go by my logic. Should we even bother building the Lishan tomb? Will Crown Prince Fusu ever get to succeed? He turns around. Meets the mocking gaze of the chief judge, Li Si. Li Si's a legalist. Has fought against the Confucians for half his life. He did nothing today. Just watch the Confucian side get totally wrecked by me and Li Xian. Qinyu is furious inside. But I don't care about their reactions at all. I turn and bow to Yingzheng again. Your Majesty, after thinking about it. The title, First Emperor, actually sounds pretty good. Super impressive. Wang Li senses an opening. He immediately uses my logic against me. If your Majesty seeks an endless life. And there's only one emperor. Why add the word first at all? Why Guzi, are you cursing His Majesty too? The moment he finished talking. He suddenly gets dizzy. And is scolded again. Wang Li is so scared, he keeps backing up. Wang Li completely loses it. He yells, Why Guzi? You're looking for death. And charges toward me. Li Xian instantly jumps to my side. All his muscles tensed. Ready to go. All of you, stop. Yingzheng shouts in anger. Fighting in front of me. Do you even see your emperor? Again, I indignantly say, Your Majesty. I just heard him curse you again. Couldn't hold it in. Everyone is lost for words. Here you go again, how come we didn't hear it? I don't give anyone a chance to question me. I shoot out my words like a machine gun. Wang Li said there's only one emperor. To rule forever. He's cursing that your Majesty can't become immortal. A long life is just the first step. Next is to ascend as an immortal. To rule the land of immortals. That place is huge. When your Majesty becomes the former emperor. Would you still care about the human world? It's like Wang Li becoming a general. Would he go back to be a tiny constable again? At that point. You can pass the throne to your children. Second emperor, third emperor. And so on forever. While you live above as an immortal. And enjoy generations of worship. Everyone's absolutely speechless. This flattery is off the charts. It's now reached the immortal realm. Wang Li is so mad he grinds his teeth to pieces. You said if I talk about emperor it's cursing. Now you say it too. You're way too much. I glance at him. And say flatly, you said it was end? I said it's to ascend. How's that the same? Yingzheng is extremely pleased. Even if ascending sounds absurd. It totally hits the spot for him. He waves his hand, enough. That's the end of it. I am now first emperor. Then, without hesitating, I kneel first. With all my strength. And yell at the top of my lungs, long live the emperor. Long live. Forever long live. That shameless display. That over-the-top act. Totally shocks the whole court. This level of thick skin. Really is something else. Yingzheng is so pleased by me. He tries hard not to laugh. Puts on a mysterious look and says, you may rise. Just then. Chief Attendant Zhao Gao rushes in. Whispers a few words to Yingzheng. After hearing him. Yingzheng looks at me even more satisfied. He loudly says, Why Guzi, you've done well recommending my title. Loyal and devoted. I'll reward you with a mansion. 1,000 acres of farmland. Plus a death exemption token. A death exemption token? Everyone is stunned. What's that? You can't be executed. A little eunuch. Carefully carries a shining gold medallion forward. I'm so excited I almost drool. Death exemption is engraved on the front. But when I flip it over. My smile freezes. There's tiny writing, except for treason. Deceiving the emperor or serious crimes. Any other crime is exempt. The sneaky part is that serious character. This is just like the loophole in later times. Basically, the emperor decides in the end. If I ever tick him off. He could say stepping out with my left foot first. Is suddenly a serious crime. And still punish me. I'm left speechless. Man, people with deep minds are hard to handle. Honestly, this thing is just gold I don't dare spend. But I'm upset. Others have no idea though. Qinyu is the first to jump out, Your Majesty. If this comes out. What happens to the law? He could do whatever he wants with this. The country would be finished. Li Si backs him up. If a prince breaks the law. He is punished like a commoner. Please reconsider, Your Majesty. The officials are all buzzing. They all begging Zhang to take it back. I look at these fired up old-timers. I glanced again at Zhang, sitting calmly like a king. Suddenly, it all made sense. This thing is just to boost my courage. But it's also for everyone else to see. It might not guarantee I'll live, but it'll make anyone thinking about taking me out reconsider. They won't dare make a move easily. I couldn't help but glance at Zhang again. Once more, I sighed to myself. Emperors in ancient times really were all so cunning. Zhang totally ignored the ministers. He just waved his sleeve. My mind's made up. Court dismissed. After leaving the main hall, everyone's eyes felt like nails, all stabbing into me. I chuckled softly. I purposely took out the gold token. I flashed it around in the sunlight. It gleamed so much, they had to squint. I said lazily, if anyone accidentally offends me from now on, my hand might just slip, and who knows what'll happen. Not like I'll get in any trouble anyway. As soon as I finished speaking, Wang Li and his son's faces went pale. They just made an enemy for life. Now this maniac has a get-out-of-jail-free card. If I really wanted to use it. Thinking of that, everyone instinctively scooted further away from me. But Li Xian came closer. His eyes shining. Hey bro, why, can I borrow that thing for a bit? I've got a few enemies too. He didn't say it quietly either. A few officials nearby who didn't get along with him suddenly went weak in the knees. I cleared my throat and patted Li Xian on the shoulder. Li, there's always room for mercy, right? Let them have a chance to turn things around. If they still don't get it, then we can deal with them later. The people around us all sighed in relief. They all shot me grateful looks. Right then, from a distance came a big crowd of Taoists who, seeing me, ran over quickly, and all dropped to their knees with a thud. Greetings, Grandmaster. All the officials looked stunned again. These guys have no shame left. Yesterday, I chewed them out like crazy, but today they're suddenly calling me Grandmaster instead. I got so mad I almost couldn't catch my breath. I pointed at their noses and started cussing them out. I blamed their ancestors and all their future generations. Didn't leave anyone out. Who said I'm your Grandmaster? Nonsense. Scram. But they grabbed onto my leg, crying, Grandmaster. We've already taken Lord Fusu as our teacher. So that makes you our Grandmaster, naturally. I was just about to make a move when I saw Fusu charging over with a stick. He started beating up those alchemists hard, cursing at them, saying, who told you to pick the wrong master? Don't drag me into this. Watching this father and son tag team scene, I suddenly realized fighting is real physical work. I'm out of breath. I pull out that shiny gold token from my robe and shove it right in an alchemist's face. I yell at him, open your eyes and look. What is this? The alchemist sees the words, free from execution, and shakes with fear. I've got the immunity token. I shout, punishing people comes with no consequences. I'm gonna count to 3. If anyone bothers me again, I'll send them to the underworld right now. 3. I just started counting from 3. The alchemists freaked out and ran off, falling all over themselves. A few even lost their shoes on the way. I put away the gold token, scoffed and muttered, what a bunch of useless fools. They don't even have the guts to take a risk for me. Still want to be my apprentice? Not far away, Fusu scratches his head, sir. Your standards for taking disciples are too high. Speaking of risks, I'm a bit scared myself. 3 days later, Zhang's decree spread across the land. He officially called himself emperor. Honored King Zhuangxiang as the supreme emperor. At the same time, separate orders were delivered to both me and Li Xian's homes. Li Xian was promoted for limiting the number of alchemists. He got a big promotion. Was so happy he invited Chunyu over that very day, bragging about it in every possible way. Chunyu was so mad he almost walked out on the spot. My decree had a lot more contents. Besides officially granting my title, they gave me a house and good farmland. And they even wrote my immunity token into the decree. Basically, everyone knows it now. The house and fields are right by Lanqi Palace. As close to the imperial palace as you can get. At the end of the decree, Zhang even reminded me not to slack off on alchemy. I sighed, touching that flashy but useless gold token and miracle pill. That pill is just a shackle, honestly. I know it well. Counting on this token to save my life? Not a chance. But I smirked anyway, whatever. I said before, within a few years. Don't count on any real pills. This window of a few years is enough time for me to find a true way to survive. Thinking of that, I stretched out. Felt totally relaxed. I shouted toward the door, Wu Jiao, let's go. Let's check out our new house and land. Half an hour later, I'm standing on the so-called good farmland ridge, feeling completely pissed off. Good farmland? This is what you call good land? I point at the cracked, yellow earth under my feet, and loudly complain to the air. Just a few weeds on the ground, growing all crooked. Not even a sign of crops. Not far away. A few skinny, yellow-faced farmers looked totally out of it. Blankly sitting on the ground. I felt totally bummed. Does the emperor even know what good land means? Is there some huge misunderstanding here? Wu Jiao next to me had this look, like I'd never seen the world before. Probably thinking, bro. It's just spring. We haven't even planted yet. Of course the fields look like this. I can't be bothered to guess what he's thinking. So I just turn and point at those farmers. Who are those people? What are they doing on my land? Wu Jiao looked impatient. But still patiently explained, they're tenant farmers. Who rented to them? I was even more confused. Wu Jiao didn't answer. He just waved over the oldest-looking farmer. The guy looked at least 60. His face full of wrinkles. Skin dark like charcoal. Turned out, he was only about 40. His name was Song Fu. He was the leader of the group. After his stammered explanation, I finally got it. This land has changed owners over centuries. But their families have always farmed here. It's called Xiaotu Village, a total dump. Basically, I'm the owner on paper. But they assume they get to use it. Every year, they turn in a third of the harvest as rent. And keep the rest. Fine, I never planned to kick them out anyway. I couldn't handle 1,000 acres alone. 40 acres per household should feed you, right? I casually asked. Song Fu let out a long sigh. Good years, just barely enough not to starve. Bad years, gotta beg for food. I was stunned. 40 acres and you still have to flee famine? How much grain do you get per acre? Best case, 1.5 sure. That's just about 160 or 170 pounds. My head was spinning. Those numbers were blowing my mind. Back in my time. Yields per acre less than 1,800 pounds. You'd be embarrassed to call yourself a farmer. But thinking about it, it makes sense. This is Qin dynasty. No fertilizer, no pesticides, no tech. No way yields would be high. Song Fu saw how shocked I was. He forced a bitter smile and added. Sir, that's only if nature's nice. One strong wind wipes out a batch. One big rain washes away a batch. Then a drought wipes out another. Not much left by harvest time. It was depressing to hear. I'm supposed to be a kind person. Seeing them starving. I just can't stand it. But if I don't collect rent, I'll be the one starving. The only way is to raise yields. Drought-resistant, flood-resistant, and sturdy crops. Wait, I had a sudden idea. A word popped into my head. The Daetion method, something from history class. Never thought I'd use it now. It's simple and effective. And the results are good. You're about to plant, right? I asked Song Fu. Just in a day or two. Alright, I clapped my hands. Let's try a new way this year. I'll teach you. Divide the fields into 6 parts. Dig ditches in 3 parts. Use the other 3 as ridges. Plant crops in the ditches. Song Fu was stunned. And looked totally confused. But sir, doing it this way means only half the land gets planted. Smart, I nodded approvingly. When the seedlings sprout. And you're weeding. Just shovel the soil and weeds from the ridges into the ditches. To cover the roots. Over time. The ridges level out, ditches fill up. The roots go deep. So the wind can't blow them over. Drought's no problem either. I was getting dry-mouthed explaining. But Song Fu still looked worried. He just kept repeating. But that means half the land isn't planted. I said it again. Trust me, even with just half planted. You'll harvest more than before. He kept mumbling. But it's still only half planted. I got mad right away. Yelled, are you going to plant or not? Song Fu was so scared he trembled. His lips quivered for ages. Finally, like he was all in. He stiffened his neck and said, Sir, you're basically leaving us no way to survive. Even if we plant it all, we can't feed ourselves. Now you want us to plant only half. Next year, our whole village will have to go begging. Sorry, but I can't obey this order. These stubborn folks are really pushing me over the edge. I'm done arguing with him. I just turned to look at Wu Jiao. You've seen a lot. What do you think of my idea? Wu Jiao shrank his neck. He whispered, Sir, you may not know. Farming and war are top priorities here. What you're doing is neglecting your duty to farm. That's a serious responsibility. Here comes another one. Now I get it. Explaining science to people who can't read is just a waste of breath. Expressionless, I took out my protection token from my robes. I waved it in front of both of them. Do you know what this is? The farmhand stared for a long time. I can't read, sir. I sighed, this is a protection token. It means I can punish people and won't be held responsible. I'll check in a few days. If anyone's land isn't planted the way I said. I deliberately said those last 2 words super creepy. The farmhand shivered right away. He nodded like a bobblehead. Sir, don't worry. I'll I'll do whatever you say. I put the token back inside my robe. I was just speechless inside. There's just no way to reason with these people. I really have to tear off the nice guy mask and play the tough guy before they'll listen. Wu Jiao looked at me from the side, face pale as a ghost. He had just one thought in his eyes: it's over. We're in trouble now. Neglecting farm work responsibility. That can ruin the whole family. I better get out of here fast. Right away. Wu Jiao started plotting how to slip away. But when he remembered Ji Ming, he got hesitant again. Ji Ming betrayed the group at a key moment. And didn't even get any credit for it. He ended up being punished badly. He still limps when he walks. Thinking about that, Wu Jiao sighed. He probably thought following me might be risky. But it's better than being a traitor. I had no idea he was having all these thoughts. After checking out this crappy land, I excitedly went off to see my fancy house. But as soon as I got close to it, my face looked even worse than the fields. The house is huge, built to really high standards, but it just feels really unlucky. The doors and windows are all busted. Cobwebs everywhere. I pushed open the door and a cold wind blew out. In the yard, weeds as tall as me, and a swarm of crows burst into the sky. I rubbed my arms and asked Wu Jiao, "What the hell is this place?" "Lord Shang's villa." "You mean Shangyang?" I counted on my fingers. I gasped in shock. A relic over 100 years old. Oh, heavens. I turned to leave. This isn't just an unlucky house. It's a total ruin. Giving me Shangyang's old house? Isn't that a curse for a tragic end? Complaining aside, I eventually calmed down. Ancient gift houses aren't from thin air. Where else could it be from? But this place is unlivable. My dream of a mansion is shattered. I moped all the way back. I ran into Tsang Fu halfway. He and the villagers knelt before me. They offered a meal to welcome me. I was starving, so I followed them to Xiaoda village. That place was dirt poor. Mud huts with thatched roofs. Everyone stopped to watch me. They bowed very respectfully. That made me feel a bit better. Food was set in the village center. I took a sip of wine, and my brow furrowed. The wine was weak, and it had a bitter aftertaste. Looking at the dishes, it was mostly just wild herbs, and a plate of mystery meat. The taste was questionable. The main dish was boiled wheat, hard as rocks, and completely tasteless. I sighed, cursing to myself. No flour at all? Didn't Lu Ban invent the millstone? History books are all lies. Tsang Fu knelt again. "Sir, please, let us only plant half. We truly won't survive." My head was spinning. I almost pulled out the letter. But they said, furthermore, half the village will be jobless. That gave me an idea. I thought for a moment. I've got it. 20 households, you decide. 10 will farm the fields. 10 will come make millstones with me. Millstones? Tsang Fu looked blank. Yes, to grind wheat into flour. To make delicious food. I promise you'll earn way more than farming. I declared confidently. Wu Jiao almost fainted nearby. He probably thought I was dead. Adding useless tricks to my crimes. This is the end. I ignored him. I finished the awful boiled wheat, wiped my mouth, and said, "One day to decide. I'm back for my crew tomorrow." I dragged Wu Jiao away, giving them no chance to complain. The village erupted as soon as I left. A brute named Eris shouted, "I don't care. My fields must be full. Who the hell does he think he is?" Tsang Fu warned, "Do you want to die? He has a protective token." Eris spat, eyes gleaming. "So what? Neglecting farming is a major crime. I'll sue him in Xianyang. Let's see his token save him then." He grabbed the coins from Tsang Fu. The ones I gave them earlier. "I'm taking the risk for everyone. Taking on the danger. So this money is mine." He walked off without looking back. Tsang Fu trembled with rage, but said nothing. No one dared mess with the village bully. When I returned the next day, the groups were already split. The millstone makers were called Jianghu, and the farmers were called Gunghu. But when I saw the makers, I got furious again. They were all weak or elderly. Not a single strong man. Was this really voluntary? I saw Tsang Fu. "You wanted to farm? So why are you here?" Tsang Fu smiled bitterly. "Sir, Eru and his men took my fields. What choice did I have? Weak families always get bullied." My heart sank. Even in this tiny village, survival of the fittest was in full play. I took a deep breath. I told the desperate crew, "Fine. Whether you chose this, or were forced, follow me today. I promise in 10 days, those farmers will be jealous of you." I waved them forward. "Move. Time to find a mason first." Meanwhile, Eru was carrying my money, marching straight into Xianyang. The kid had some brains. He didn't go to the officials, but to a tavern for intel. To take down a nobleman, you have to find his enemies. As he drank, he heard the owner muttering about Master Huiguzi. He's so elusive. How do I send him this money? Eru perked up. Huiguzi? Isn't that our new master's name? He immediately went to pry for info. Seeing the money, the owner talked. He told the story of how I cured Prince Fuyao and humiliated Wang Dun and Wang Li, winning the emperor's favor. Eru was overjoyed. So, Wang Li is his rival. This is it. He tossed his bowl and ran to the general's mansion. Wang Li had just returned from hunting, fuming with rage. I had humiliated him lately, making him a laughingstock. Hearing someone shouting Huiguzi outside, his eyes lit up. Who knows Huiguzi? What are the charges? Wang Li jumped off his horse, demanding an answer. Eru knelt immediately and told him everything about the village, exactly as it happened. He didn't need to exaggerate, because the facts were enough. Wang Li rubbed his hands. Good. Very good. Come inside. We'll wait for the right moment to strike him down. While they plotted, my first millstone factory, at the ruined Lord Shang's villa, was already open. I sat on a large stone, sipping wine, watching the crew sweat over the rocks. By the end of the day, 2 millstones were taking shape. At sunset, I had Wu Jiao pay everyone their wages and sent them home. When Wu Jiao paid them, the look in his eyes, he saw me as an exploiter. I patted his shoulder. Wu Jiao, when the factory is open, you get 10% share. I take 80. And they split the last 10. Wu Jiao mumbled his agreement, but likely thought, I paid. They worked. So why do you get 80? That night, Li Xian came by with wine. The two of us were having a great time drinking. I started bragging to him about my stone mill factory plan, and complained a bit about the food in Great Qin. Li Xian got curious and asked what delicious food my hometown had. I was pretty drunk. Words just came out. Steamed lamb and bear paw. Steamed deer tail and roasted duck. Roasted baby chicken and goose. I rattled off a whole list. Li Xian was practically drooling after hearing that. He murmured, it sounds amazing. Right before bed, he suddenly asked me about the Xiongnu sending the Zhuxian king as an envoy. Mingyu immediately started talking about it. Brother Hui, what's your take? I was already half asleep. So I casually said, he's just a guest from afar. Just fight them. Why bother reasoning with them? When Li Xian heard this, he totally agreed and said that's exactly what he thought. When the envoy arrives, I'll capture him to set an example. This reckless guy is hopeless. Next day, Qin held a council meeting. I didn't have a high enough rank, so I wasn't allowed to attend. In the main hall, all the officials were discussing how to receive the Xiongnu envoy. Li Xian suddenly jumped out shouting he'd seize the envoy and send troops north. He even added, this is Master Huiguzi's idea. All the officials snickered. They thought I'm the emotional one, and Li Xian is the reckless type. Together we're a perfect fit. A match made in heaven. Yingxing didn't say much. Li Xian's words were crude, but actually matched what he wanted. He asked offhand, what's Huiguzi been up to lately? Li Xian quickly replied, Brother Hui is farming good land, renovating his house, building a stone mill, and making new medicine. Before he finished, Wang Li stepped out smiling, suddenly raised his voice and shouted nonsense. General Li, you've probably been fooled by him. He turned to Yingzheng and loudly said, Your Majesty, Huiguzi wasted half, farmers smashing rocks, and caused half of 1,000 acres of good land to lay waste. This is neglecting farm duties. This land was built on farming and war. But he openly defies state policy. His crimes are unforgivable. I request immediate, severe punishment for Huiguzi. As a warning to others. Wang Ben strokes his beard nearby, looking quite smug. Li Xian is so angry his face turns green. Wang Li, you're talking nonsense. Do you have any proof? Proof? Wang Li bursts out laughing. I've been waiting for that. We have both witnesses and evidence. The evidence is those 1,000 acres of ruined farmland. The witnesses are villagers from Shaotu village. Erhu is right outside the hall right now. He suddenly bows to Yingzheng. His voice echoes through the hall. Your Majesty, I request to bring Zheng Erhu in. He can't hide his smile anymore. Right here in front of everyone. Before all the important officials. Once the blame is pinned down. Let's see, Yingzheng, will you protect your national policy? Or protect me, the council speaker? Erhu comes in. The young eunuch who brought me. Already leaked the script on the way here. Told me I'd be accused in front of the emperor. Said Wang Lin is behind it. Even pretended to pat Erhu's shoulder, saying His Majesty will back you up. I almost laughed out loud. Erhu is so scared he's shaking like a leaf. He can't even get the words out. He forced us to farm only half the fields. He said anyone who disobeys gets punished. Ing Zhang's brows furrowed. His voice turns icy cold. Erhu, false accusations will be punished. Understand? I wouldn't dare. Erhu bows his head, thudding loudly. The whole village can testify. Old man Chunyi Yuan starts sighing again. Saying, if only you'd known this would happen. Why bother at the start? Wearing that all-knowing look again. Wang Li thinks it's time. So he adds fuel to the fire. Huaiguzi made you go grind stones for him. Right? Why yes. How dare you? Wang Li suddenly flings his sleeve. Voice raised eightfold. He labels me straight away. Unauthorized actions and disorder. This is overstepping authority. It's an unforgivable crime. Then he suddenly drops to his knees. His sharp voice cries for immediate severe punishment. To uphold discipline. Rustling noises. His followers behind him also kneel down. All shout in sync. Please punish Huaiguzi at once. And enforce discipline. That damn eunuch stands by the emperor. With a gloating look in his eyes. I get it, they haven't forgotten the last beating. Only Li Xian is still standing in the hall. Ing Zhang's gaze falls on him. Li Xian straightens his neck. And speaks loudly. We haven't figured things out yet. What if Brother Huai has his reasons? Why not bring him here to confront him? Ing Zhang doesn't speak. But he agrees. He still needs me to make the elixir. No way he'd really punish me. But he'll use this chance to warn me. 15 minutes later. I arrive and walk in. I raise my voice and shout. Get rid of the schemers. Purge traitors like Wang Lin. Everyone's stunned. They're probably thinking, the thief is crying thief. Before anyone reacts, I've already rushed over. To those outer officials kneeling down. I just kick them. You wicked schemers. I kick as I go along. Moving smoothly without pause. By the time they react, the floor is already littered with bodies. Stop. Ing Zhang finally shouts. Angry and furious. I'm holding you guilty. That's when I stop. I give a dry laugh. Salute and say, Your Majesty. Look at these wicked schemers. They're trying to push you with numbers. I lost my cool for a moment. My anger just boiled over. As soon as I said that, all the kneeling officials turned pale. Now they've figured it out. All the civil and military officials. Forcing the emperor to act against his will. Isn't that blatant pressure? Especially someone stubborn like Ing Zhang. He won't stand for it. A few secretly peer up at him. And seeing Zhang's icy face. They must really regret it now. That's enough, Ing Zhang is done with small talk. He gets straight to the point. Someone accused you of neglecting farming. What's your answer? I smile and calmly ask. Even if I did neglect those fields. Are a few acres worth bringing to the court? You have to manage even that yourself? What if the neighbor loses a dog? Or someone else's cow gets sick? Should you judge those cases too? Then I change the topic. And point straight at Wang Li. It's simple, Wang Li's abusing his power for revenge. Just settling a score. He chose this moment for maximum impact. Doing it in front of everyone so you'd have to take a side. That's pressure. That's overstepping his bounds. He's got a hidden agenda. Your Majesty, I believe Wang Li is up to no good. Please remove him at once. To restore order in court. The whole room falls silent. Everyone looks stunned. How did a simple accusation turn into treason? Wang Li is basically turned to stone. His jaws dropped wide enough for an egg. Treason, me? He probably can't even process it. He doesn't even know where to start explaining. All he can do is bow like crazy. Your Majesty, my family's been generals for 3 generations. Loyal and devoted. We'd never betray you. Ing Zhang must find it funny too. Looking at Wang Li's bruised forehead. He finally speaks mildly. Enough, stop arguing. If it's neglect, punish him for that. If it's false accusation, punish the liar. As for treason, that's just nonsense. No need to say more. I didn't neglect my duties. I reply cleanly. Wang Li signals to Erhu right away. Erhu gathers his courage and shouts, How could you not? You made us farm only half the land. I glance at him. My tone is calm as talking about the weather. If we farmed only half, but the harvest was even better than before? Maybe Erhu just blurts it out without thinking. A second later, I've already reached him. And slapped him across the face. A loud, crisp sound. What do you know? I snap, saying I used a special method. That's how the legendary experts do it. That's how they farm. Once I say that, all the officials are speechless. Even Li Xian doesn't know whether to laugh or cry. Legendary experts still farm? You couldn't make up a bigger story. Utter nonsense. Wang Li sneers. I suddenly point right at him. And ask word by word, Wang Li, dare to gamble your life? 3 months from now, when the millet is harvested, you and I will each take 1,000 acres. If my harvest is better than yours, will you dare kill yourself on the spot? Once again, betting your life. Wang Li was so mad he gritted his teeth. You and Li Xian really are a couple of troublemakers. I stepped closer. My finger was almost touching his nose. You dare, huh? Why wouldn't I? He stomped his foot and yelled, what if you lose? I said the same thing out loud. But inside, I was already thrilled. You blockhead. My Datian farming method is the result of hundreds of years of science. How could I lose to you? And even if I really do lose, I still have my lucky charm. Ingzheng got interested too. Just plant half. And you can still increase the yield? You really think you can do that? Your Majesty, just find someone you trust to supervise. So no one can tamper with the results. Ingzheng spoke up. You'll take charge of this. Wan stepped forward. She answered right away. This old guy is the fairest judge. Everyone trusts him. Alright, we'll see how it turns out in 3 months. Ingzheng made the final decision. Guards. Take Eru out. Eru finally let out a sigh of relief. Getting ready to sneak off. He thought his plan was perfect. Planning to go seek out Wang Jian. Help him win the bet. And totally defeat me. Hold on. I shouted loudly, Your Majesty. I want to report Eru for robbery. Eru froze in shock. I didn't. I said slowly, the other day at dinner. I gave everyone in the village a string of coins. But right after I left, he stole all their money. That's what Wu Changsong's wife said. The whole village can back me up. Eru's face went pale instantly. He collapsed to the ground. I turned and looked at him, smiling faintly. You thought I'd wait years to get even? That revenge can wait 10 years, right? No way. I settle scores right then and there.